used to be a no man's land, but these are the days when, by buying a ticket on a commercial airliner, you can fly across the North Pole and drink a cocktail at the same time. You know, only 60 or more years ago, about 35 years ago, our guest tonight found out whether there was any land north of the North American continent. He made that first discovery flight, and I must say that Admiral Byrd, our guest tonight, is not only our greatest living explorer, but he's been an inspiration to countless Americans. Admiral Byrd, you've been to both the North Pole and the South Pole. Is there any unexplored land left on this earth that might appeal to adventurous young Americans?
Yes, there is. And not up around the North Pole, because it's getting crowded up there now, because they find out it's really usable, not only to live in, but militarily. But strangely enough, there's left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being. And that's beyond the pole, on the other side of the South Pole, from Middle America.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Angel here with Scarwreck Truther. Welcome back to another video. Folks, today we're going to be talking about Flat Earth, or the Antarctic Wall, whatever you want to call it. And I usually don't do videos on this topic because there's a lot of debate, right? It's a huge debate against the globe and the Flat Earth model. But today we're going to be talking about what I know and the evidence that I've found in YouTube and in the internet that may prove the Earth is flat. Now, there is a research program, or should I say scientists, that are trying to figure out if the Earth is flat or not. They're doing a lot of supposed experiments, as they say, but they really haven't been showing us. You can search up the Kilo Research channel. I mean, they have a channel, but they don't really tell us. They don't tell us what experiments they're doing, but they're getting there, I guess. They are trying to figure it out. But folks, right now, before we get more in detail with this theory, right, or should I say truth, I want to talk about the UN flag. I mean, it's pretty much obvious that we so-called conspiracy theories, right, quote, quote, got the idea of flat Earth from the UN flag. I mean, the UN flag literally looks like the flat Earth model, completely 100%, with the old flat Earth Egyptian maps, or ancient maps, whatever, right? But here's the interesting part, folks. Why is it that the UN flag has a snake in the middle, right? Doesn't that remind you of anything? Like, if that doesn't mean anything? Yeah, exactly. So there's this guy named Mad Mike Hughes, or something like that. Yeah, Mad Mike Hughes. And he tried to launch a homemade rocket that he created. And this was his second attempt launching the rocket. At first, I think he failed, but the second time he attempted it, but something went wrong with the rocket, with like thrust or whatever. He was gonna risk his life to launch this rocket to prove that the Earth was flat, until he realized that the rocket wouldn't work. I mean, I don't know if he's still gonna launch his rocket. I guess I'll keep you guys updated with that. But he is trying to, I guess, shoot a rocket into supposed space to see if there really is anything as space or a dome, right? But again, he failed, and we're just gonna have to wait and be patient and see what happens next.
About 50 foot. So only thing I know to do, I hate to disappoint everybody.
Now, there is some raw footage out there where it supposedly shows a rocket actually hitting the dome, but yet there is space. I mean, I guess I'll show it to you just for the heck of it. So now we're going to be talking about sundogs, alright? Sundogs are supposedly made by crystals and how cold it is in the atmosphere, right, and the earth. And I mostly see these sundogs, right, whenever they chemtrail the skies because it gets all cold and stuff, right? But what I'm going to show you very soon in this video is that the dome or the sundogs that you're seeing, it's none other than the dome's reflection from the sun. And why is this? Well, because I'm going to show you right now an experiment where you put a flashlight, right? So you get a flashlight, get a bowl, a glass of bowl, the size of, I don't know, just a good size, alright? So flash your flashlight in the bowl, the glass of bowl, and what you're going to expect is the reflection of, you know, the bowl all around the bowl. So the light is going to be reflecting all over the bowl. What does this mean? Well, it just means that the same thing goes with the flat earth dome, right? The dome on the flat earth. The sun is the light, right? It's like the flashlight, for example. And whenever it gets cold, it'll start reflecting its dome all around the earth, right? Get what I'm trying to say here? I mean, I have footage here just in case if you don't understand. Now, the next evidence is none other than the local moon and the local sun, which is pretty easy to see if you have good eyes. I mean, all you gotta do is believe your own eyes, folks. Look at the horizon and see that there's no edge. Look, use a telescope and you'll see that the boat hasn't fallen off the edge. Why? Because there is no edge. There is no curvature. It's pure flat. Anyways. So there's footage out there on YouTube, and I think you can do it the same, but it's a very rare phenomenon where the clouds are behind the sun. Same thing goes with the moon. The clouds can go behind the moon for some reason, which is a little strange because supposedly the moon and the sun are like miles away and light years away from Earth, right? The clouds are literally behind the sun. So does this mean that that the sun and the moon are inside the dome? I mean, this is just pure evidence. So, not just that, folks, but there's just rare footage out here where it shows like this object going by the sun. You guys can be the judge for this video as well. This video kind of looks fake, but it could be more evidence to say the least if the Earth, or should I say the sun, is local. You know, like if the sun and the moon are inside the dome. But again, you guys can be the judge for that. Well, if the Earth is flat, did we actually go to the moon? Well, I mean, if the moon is local, we could go to the moon right now. I mean, it's quite simple. But the moon is not a rock, folks. It's just pure light, like said in the Bible. The Bible says that the moon is just a light. It's its own light. It's local. I mean, take a listen to this so-called astronaut.
Back again. I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
Wait, what? So my man here is telling me that he can go to the moon in a freaking nanosecond. And yet they don't have the technology to go back to the moon. Even though the Apollo 11 was made out of aluminum, honeycomb, sheet aluminum alloy, and let me guess, cardboard? And now they're saying there's a Van Allen belt that we cannot cross? So what are they trying to say? Are they trying to say that we didn't went to the moon?
Chapter 1. In the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, Let there be light. And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. And the evening and the morning were the second day.
Leave a like, share this video, folks, because, I don't know, just why not? And I'll see you again. Peace.